Hi, this is Tyler Maley, Assistant Professor of Mathematics at Marion Technical College. I wanted to make a short video to help you get acclimated to the online course for Math 930 Quantitative Reasoning Coexquisite. So this is a video I call the syllabus video. So the first thing I want to do is just show you how to access Canvas and get into the course and so forth. So the first thing, you'll just go to Marion Tech's website, so www.mtc.edu, and then in the top here you'll see a list of items you can click on. You'll be clicking on Canvas, and then you'll just log in with your Marion Tech username and password. Alright, so now what you'll see here is you should see the Quantitative Reasoning Coexquisite course listed, and then also you should see the Quantitative Reasoning course. So just note that these are two separate courses, and this semester two separate instructors. So I'm teaching the Math 930 piece, the Quantitative Reasoning Coexquisite, and then one of our adjunct instructors, Jackie Potts, is teaching the Quantitative Reasoning course, right? So these are two separate courses with separate assignments, separate grades, and so forth, right? So make sure you're checking both of those Canvas courses. So this video is for the coexquisite, so click on the coexquisite piece, and then once you're here, you'll be inside of our course, and the first thing you should notice is there are recent announcements listed at the top. So I have it set up so it will show the 3 most recent announcements that I post, and I communicate a lot with announcements, so you should get in the habit of checking those and making sure that you're reading the announcements when you're logging in. I recommend logging in at least once a day and checking the announcements. You can also change your settings to be sure that you're receiving notifications when you receive announcements. So to change your notification settings, you'll click here on your account picture, and there's this notifications button that you can click on, and then you can change the settings appropriate to how you want to receive those. Right. So I won't do that now. Right. And then if you scroll down, you'll see just a welcome message with a picture, and here's my contact information listed here. So you can actually click on the announcements tab, and this will show you all the announcements to date. So I already have 3 announcements published there for your view. And then you can click on modules. So modules is how I deliver most of the content through the course. So this first module is called the Getting Started Agenda, and then I'll have a module, at least one for every week throughout the term. So I already have week 1 uploaded here for you. So if you click on the Getting Started Agenda link here, this will bring you to this content page, and it lists some things, items for you to do before you get started in the course. So one of them being to read the course syllabus, read the syllabus addendum. You can click on this link and find more about math tutoring, what kind of math tutoring is available to you. And then the 4th thing below, I have a video here on how to access MyMathLab. So you're going to complete 2 types of assignments in the course: homework and quizzes, and both of those will be delivered through MyMathLab, at least for the most part. Some assignments I might post through Canvas. And then I ask you to read the math CGCs listed here, so you can click on that link. And then also I'm asking that you make sure you have Microsoft Office downloaded, and you can download Microsoft Office onto your home computer for free by following the directions here. Right. So if you have questions over that, please let me know. That reminds me, if you do have questions, you can always email me. But a really great way to post questions, especially if it's not like personal information, it's more general questions like, Tyler, how do I download Microsoft Office, for example, something like that. If you click on the discussion button on the left, you'll notice there's two discussions currently. One of them is an assignment looking at math strategies and study tips, but this next one I title questions about anything. So you can come here and post just general questions about things that you'd like to ask. It could be, maybe a question about content or about the course. So you can just click reply here, and you can post your question. And then I also encourage other students in the class to answer your fellow students' posts as well, and then I'll chime in also, right? But it gives a nice way for you to interact with other classmates and kind of ask those questions that you typically would in the classroom. All right, so then the next thing I want to show you is just how to use MyMathLab and how to get started with that. And then I posted a separate video on how to access the lesson materials. So to get started in MyMathLab, you'll click the MyLab and Mastering link and click on this Open MyLab and Mastering button. And once you do that, it's going to prompt you initially to sign in to MyMathLab, to your Pearson account, or if you don't have one, it'll prompt you to go ahead and create one. So you want to follow those steps. And don't forget, in the Getting Started agenda, there's this video that you can watch. It'll walk you through that process. And then you'll also need this access code to enter as well. So after you set up your Pearson account, it's going to prompt you, do you have an access code? Do you want to enter a credit card in to pay for it, and so forth? So your MyMathLab access was already paid for. It was built in as a course fee, and we do that because we're able to buy the MyMathLab codes at a cheaper rate, doing it in bulk. And then that way everyone has it on day one of the semester as well. So you can, so this access code is good for everyone in the class, so you can copy that and paste it, and you'll get into MyMathLab just fine. Right, so once you're in MyMathLab, this is where you'll access your assignments. So if you click on the assignments button here, you'll notice right now I have 2 assignments uploaded for every chapter. The first one is called a skills check. So this you can take up to 3 times, and it's not for a grade. It's simply like a pre-assessment. So it's looking at what do you already know before you start learning that material, and items that you master will reduce the number of homework problems that you end up having. So once you click on that, it'll prompt this, and make sure you know that you get 3 attempts. There's 5 questions. It tells you when it's due, and then also it lets you know that you have 60 minutes to complete this assignment, right? And these due dates are really far out. It's not really those due dates don't really mean anything because you have to complete the skills check before you can get in the homework. But the homework is what's for a grade, so that's really the more important due date. So if you scroll down here, you can see, for example, that this first homework is due January 15th, right? So that's the important part. So you can click Start Test and launch into this, and it will. So this skills check has 5 questions. So you'll answer this. So it gives you gives you a question, and you have to fill in the appropriate answer. And notice when you click on this box, there's these palettes that pop up down here, these buttons that help you input answers. So if you wanted to put in, for example, like a square root, you could click on that and fill in a number, right? So it helps you do math symbols that might be hard to type, right? So it's very useful to use the palette. And then also, if you don't see the button that you're looking for, if you click on the More option, it'll bring up a lot more buttons. Right. So then you can navigate to different questions from this. So we can go into any of, like, so if you want to jump to question 4 and so forth, right, you can work through that. And then once you're finished, you'll click Submit Quiz, and then you'll be able to see results, right? So if I click Submit Quiz, and this is giving me a warning message because I didn't complete my assignment. So I'll just go ahead and click Submit Quiz, and you'll see the feedback. I missed all of those questions. So you can click on Review Test. And this will show you the problem. And notice here this red tick mark at the top, right? So this is actually showing the correct answer here. And if I click on the box, it shows me that what I put in. So it tells me that I didn't put in an answer, and I answered nothing. So I didn't answer any of the questions, right? So all of these will mark that. So you can review and just see like what you missed and what you're having trouble with. So I wouldn't, put a lot of emphasis and time into the skills checks. That's why I limited it to 3 attempts. I didn't want you to just keep taking that over and over again. The important part is just seeing what you know, and then that will decrease the number of homework problems you have, right? So for this chapter 2 review homework, there's just 11 questions here. So if I just click on the first question, it pops up, right? So again, it gives me a question, and I can click in the box for that answer palette still. But some new features within the homework is that if you see I have this question help option. So the first one is called Help Me Solve This. So if I click on that, it'll pop up a box and walk you through step by step, breaking up in smaller chunks about how to solve this particular question, right? And you have to answer throughout, right? So first it's saying multiply 3 times 6, right? So you enter in 18, and then you click check answer, right? And it tells you if you did it right or wrong, and then you just keep continuing on within this problem, right? So then next it wants us to go ahead and simplify, right? So this would give me the fraction 18 over 35, right? And then so I got it right. But one thing you'll notice, since it walked you through this problem, as soon as I click close, it's going to give me a different problem, right? So notice the numbers changed, right? So another option is you can do view an example, which shows you a similar example, and this one isn't as interactive, right? It's more or less reading and seeing the worked out work. So it gives you a similar example to look at and compare and see if you can learn what the steps are to figure out that problem. And then under question help, there's also a video button you can click on, which will pop up a video to a similar problem. And then you can also click on Ask My Instructor, which this will send me an email with a link, and you can type some comments in here so I can see the exact problem that you're looking at and see your comments, and that will go to my email, and I can try to help that way. All right. And of course, at the top here, you can still jump around to different problems and so forth. All right, so another thing I want to show you is that, and theoretically, everyone should have 100% in their homework. because you can do a homework problem an infinite number of times before the due date. So I'm just going to keep getting this problem wrong. So normally you have about 3 chances, excuse me, about 3 chances to get the correct answer. And notice eventually it's saying, sorry, that's not correct. And it's telling you what the correct answer is and then what I submitted last. So then now you have an option to skip to the next question or do a similar question. If you click similar question, it'll give you a new problem that's similar to the one you were working on. But if you get it right, then that goes into your score, right? So you can keep doing a problem over and over until you get it correct. All right. Another feature I want to show you real quick is if you go into, click on Gradebook in MyMathLab, this will show you all your grades listed, listed that you've completed. And a nice thing is you can click on review beside your attempt, and you can still review even past the due date, review the homework problems or the skills check problems that you completed. And I'll also be posting the weekly quizzes on here as well, and they'll be set up like the Chapter 2 skills check. Those chapter skills checks, that's called like a quiz assignment in MyMathLab, so it'll have similar features. Notice in the quiz assignments there isn't those question help items, and we can set like a time limit on those and so forth. Right, so you can review those, and so you'll be able to review your quizzes and homework. Every assignment you complete, you can go back and look at and see what you did wrong or what you did right and what the questions were and so forth. All right, so I think that's long enough to get you started on MyMathLab. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or go ahead and post in the discussion link.